Hi there, welcome to our video about writing your essay introduction for ASIA1030. Your introduction forms a really important part of your essay. It's the very first thing that your readers look at and that they read, and often by the end of the introduction they are starting to think about what your grade is. And so your introduction needs to establish your argument very clearly. So usually what an introduction will do is tell us a little bit about the background or context to the question, and then indicate why the question is interesting. What's the issue or the problem or the debate that you're going to focus on? Then it will usually give your argument, your thesis statement, which is a concise summary of your argument. And it will also signpost the key reasons that you have for your argument. So let's look at a sample introduction and how it fulfills those 4 moves. So we're taking this real example from a past student who was answering the question, what historical ideas about masculinity shape contemporary practices in South Korea? What new concepts are emerging? So first of all, the student starts off by introducing the topic. What's the context and the issue or debate that they're focused on? So they're saying that Korean conceptions of masculinity are a product of myriad of traditional and modern influences. So that's some broad context to start off with, basically saying this topic is complicated, it's complex and it's interesting. Then they go on to explain what their main argument is, that Confucian gender ideals continue to pervade contemporary understandings of male dominance and superiority, contributing to the rise of a distinctly dominant form of masculinity. So that's their main argument. But then further down in the introduction, you'll see that they've introduced the second part of their argument, which you'll see is answering the second part of that question. However, new concepts of a softer form of masculinity are emerging. So those statements in answer to the essay question can appear in various places in your introduction, depending on where you think they sit best. Now, the essay introduction also needs to signpost the key reasons for your argument, and your signposting should follow the same order in which you introduce those ideas in the essay body. So if you introduce, for instance, the outer sphere of public life, for instance, you need to talk about that in the very first paragraph. And then if you're talking about reinforcing those ideas about masculinity with the emergence of capitalist industrial state, that will be talked about in the next paragraph, and so on. So usually the signposting will follow the same structure of the essay, and if it doesn't, it can get very confusing for your reader. So think carefully about when you explain the key reasons for your argument, do they follow the same structure of the essay? And they can, again, be integrated with the thesis statement, because if you're summarizing your key argument, you might need to give your reasons for that argument. There's more examples of sample introductions that did very well and analysis of them to step you through those 4 moves. And there are also more explanations of what to include when you're writing your essay, what kind of strategies you can use to write an effective essay on your Wordle site. And in the next video, we're going to be talking about paragraphs.